I don't know if everyone knows this, but you are quite the photographer.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all right, so let me start this whole story off. So,
okay.
Last year, my 2016 season, so my 4th year in the NFL, I tore my ACL. The 9th game, we were playing Buffalo Bills at home, like towards the end of the game, and pretty much, you know, I got tackled, somebody tosses me around, my leg kind of hits somebody else, and I already tore my ACL once my freshman year in college, so I kind of knew something was wrong when I got hit. Mm-hmm. So I played like 2 snaps with a messed up knee, and I was like, you know what, something's wrong. I know it doesn't feel right. So I went off to the side and I was like, hey coach, you know, or hey doc, hey, can you check my knee? And he was like, okay, yeah, let me check it. He was like, yeah, your ACL's messed up. I was like, yeah, I figured. So during that time, it was a real tough period for me, just because I mean, you're sitting at home, your knee's iced up, you're not with your buddies on the team, so you're just kind of just like standing there. I mean, just not really anything to do. So once I started to move around, I picked up photography, and I started to do a little bit before then, but it wasn't like too much of a hobby. So once I started being able to walk around, that's when I picked up a new camera, started taking pictures. Me and my girlfriend, we just go out and just shoot, and it's just so much fun. It's so, I don't know, it makes you explore way more. And then once you start getting to the whole editing thing about it, it's pretty neat.
Did it just come naturally to you, though? Or were you somewhat, like, did you study photography a bit?
Well, I don't know. At first, I mean, everybody knows about the Instagram, so you're like, oh, these people take such cool pictures, yada, yada, yada. And I've always kind of been that way. I've always like, oh, I like pictures, you know? Picked up the camera and just started taking pictures, and they were okay. They're okay pictures. And then switched over to a new camera once I really actually started liking it. And it just kind of started working out nice. So.
Well, your pictures are, I mean, they're really good. And you take a combination of, like, people and still things, right? Yeah. Do you have a preference of, like, a person over an inanimate object?
Well, it just kind of depends on kind of what the mood I am, or, like, kind of how the day is. You know, you can take portrait photography. I take a lot of pictures of my girlfriend. I take a lot of pictures of just people around. You know, just walking through the city, like in Florida, I walk, you know, down the beach, and I'll see this people that have something that's not common about them, you know, something that's just different about them. And I was like, hey, you know, can I take a picture? And one of the things that's kind of helped me out is, like, I'm able to meet some amazing people that you would never really say, hey, you know, whatever to. You know, you just kind of walk by them and not really think about anything.
And are they like?
They're flattered by it.
Are they like, wait, are you Gio?
Nah, they wouldn't know. They have no idea.
They wouldn't know?
No, because I don't, if you look at me, I'm pretty short. I'm not like, you know, like a 6'8", you know, football player that's like humongous. I'm just like an average kind of size guy. So they kind of look at me and they're like, oh, you know, for the most part, they're flattered, really.
Which, by the way, what do you like to shoot with?
So I have a Sony A7R, 2nd generation. Mm-hmm. I originally started out with a Nikon. And anybody that's trying to get into photography or, you know, thinking about it or whatever, I say start off with a budget-friendly camera. Like, the Nikon was a budget-friendly camera. It's not going to be too expensive. The lenses are, you know, fairly cheap. You can, you know, pick and choose which things you want. It's just easier that way. So I started off with that one. And then, you know, once my knee got messed up, I started taking a lot more pictures. Then that's when I moved to the Sony, and Sonys are unbelievable.
I think that's, I mean, it's your creative brain for sure. Yeah. I don't think it just is. Yeah. So that part of your brain is the very active side. Yeah. Not so much like the chemistry, like the science and the math. Was that the part in school that you did not like?
Yeah, in school. Speaking of school.
Yes.
I do need to go back. I need to finish up my college degree. But I am in exercise sports science, and that's not so much numbers, you know. It's a little bit of numbers here and there, but for the most part, it's just like how your body works. I mean, you play sports, so you kind of know, you know, how your body works, and you know the anatomy of it, so you kind of get used to the names and words of it.
This is what I think about numbers. Is your checkbook in the red or not? Is the scale too high or not?
You know what? Yeah, crazy, because, like, with number-wise, like, a lot of people say, like, I'm a frugal guy.
They say that about you?
Yeah, like I don't like to spend money. You know, I'm conservative about my money.
That seems like it would be so the opposite when you think about your line of work, right?
Yeah.
So you're a professional athlete, running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. People think, oh, professional athletes make a ton of money,
Yep.
driving fancy cars, they're all iced out, you know, wearing Tom Ford.
Yep. Well, it's about keeping up with the Jones. That's what that's one of the things that you hear a lot is that guys, you know, you just try to one-up your teammates. And what's the point of doing that? I mean, you're just going to keep, like, upping it up. And, I mean, eventually, yeah, you might be the one at the top for, like, a couple of days until, you know, one of your teammates goes out and gets the brand new year of whatever car it may be. But, I mean, I'm not really like that. I don't know.
So being frugal or more just being conscious about how you spend your dollars, does that come from your upbringing, or is that like a fear of, oh my gosh, one day if it's gone?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a fear. I mean, a lot of people do things because of fear. You know, I think that's one of the things about myself is that I'm afraid to lose all what I have right now. That's like a huge fear of mine, is to be able to have all this at my hands and to be able to lose it. That freaks me out. That's what I try to tell, you know, some of the younger guys that come in every year. Just be smart about it, you know. Don't go out and blow out your, you know, first contract, because you never know what can happen. Obviously, you want to enjoy your time. You want to enjoy, you know, your 20s. But you just got to be smart about it. You got to be conscious about it.
Did somebody teach you about that? I mean, was it another player who passed that down to you, or was it just from like watching a documentary on MC Hammer and knowing what happened to MC?
Yeah, I mean, well, ESPN did that whole series of the 30 for 30 broke. I think they had 2 of those. I mean, that'll open your eyes real quick.
Yeah, right? Because when you think like, wow, you can have that much and then it's just gone. But there's truth in the more you have, the more you spend.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
The bills can always be high. I think that's cool that you're that way.
Yeah.
What was your first... We have to have a big purchase, right? So what was your first big purchase?
Of course. First big purchase. I mean, so let me backtrack.
Okay.
I love real estate. Real estate is what I want to do after I play ball. I want to be able to invest in the real estates, or in the real estate. I want to be able to be a developer maybe at some point, and just build homes, maybe spec homes or whatever it may be. So I would say my first big purchase was my home. And then I got another duplex, or a duplex, and then I got a triplex the following year. So I had 3 years of like some decent sized purchases, but they're investment properties.
You're very approachable. Mm-hmm. Do you just naturally love to talk to people, or was it that you observed somebody else who you admired in the NFL or a professional sports figure who either was very interactive with fans or not interactive? Because sometimes that happens too, sure. Right? Where your idol, you meet them and they're not that nice.
Yeah, it's weird because there's times like where for me, I always want to be interactive with somebody just because you never know who that person is. Like you have no idea what that person does with their life. They could be a CEO of, you know, a Fortune 500 company, and they could easily offer you a, you know, 6-figure job once you're done playing football. You have no idea. So why not treat every single person that way? So for me, being able to approach somebody and say, hey, you know, this or that, talk about this, talk about football, whatever it may be, you can gain such a great relationship by doing that. And to me, that's everything. Like the relationships that you're able to build, just being able to talk with people like that, I mean, it's the coolest thing. So.
That's true. I had that experience once where I was sent out to LA to interview a guy named Russell Crowe who nobody knew.
Russell Crowe. Oh, okay.
The actor. Yeah, the actor.
The actor. What? Nobody knew him?
Nobody knew him at the time. He was unknown. And I wasn't supposed to interview him. Yeah. Another reporter at my TV station was supposed to interview him, and she was like, I don't want to. No one knows who he is. No one cares.
Oh, my gosh.
Right? So my boss was like, we said we were going to send someone from our television station. Will you go? I'm kind of giving you the nickel version, but I said, I mean, yes, a free trip to LA. I'm 22. Like, of course I'll go. I'll talk to anybody. And it's a long story, but the short of it is He was unknown when I interviewed him.
Oh, that's insane.
He was nominated for an Academy Award for the movie I interviewed him for.
Which was, do you remember?
The Insider, where he played a middle-aged man. It's a true story about a whistleblower in the big tobacco industry. It's a great movie. You would like it. It's very good. And educational, because I always like something's based on a true story. The next year, he won for one of the greatest movies of all time, which is The Gladiator. And so, your theory, your lesson and point is you never know who somebody might become.
You have no idea. No idea. And like to me, like that just sticks in my head that this person could own 3 private jets or something like that. You have no idea. You don't mind if we go get some food, do you?
I don't mind if we get food at all. I mean, there's so many great restaurants I've heard in Cincinnati. Where would you like to go?
I don't know. There's this place called Chick-fil-A right near my house.
I think, first of all, I want to say for the record, for the driving series record, I swear Chick-fil-A needs to start paying us because we're
giving them a lot of pub.
They're totally getting played. This was not set up. But what is it about you football players and your Chick-fil-A? You love it, huh?
Yeah, I think it's because when we travel on Saturdays, I don't know, maybe it's just our team, but when we travel on Saturdays for an away game, we have Chick-fil-A, and I mean, Chick-fil-A. It's amazing. Spicy.
So the only Chick-fil-A I have had was with Joe Thomas, who plays for the Cleveland Browns. Of course, you know Joe Thomas.
Yep.
You play against each other. And he apparently loves it too. So I tried some French fries, but I heard the lemonade here is really good.
Lemonade and French fries, I guess. That's for you.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Thank you for using Chick-fil-A today. My name is Ashley. How may I serve you?
Hi, Ashley. Can I get a large fry? Large fries? How do I say that?
Large fry.
Large fry. Okay. And then can we get a medium-sized lemonade since we don't have cup holders?
Extra ice.
Extra ice? Why would you do that?
I love ice.
Lemonade extra ice?
Yeah. And then can we get some Chick-fil-A nuggets as well?
Absolutely. How many would you like?
A bigger one so I could try it.
The 12 count.
Alright. We can try to finish the meal for you. Might be a little cheaper.
Ooh, I like cheaper. Yeah, let's do that.
Alright. So 12 count meal with a large fry and a lemonade extra ice?
Yeah, can I get barbecue sauce as well?
Certainly.
Boom.
Is that good for y'all?
I think so, yeah.
Alright, that's just going to be $8.89. It'll be our pleasure to see you at the window.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
How do you guys feel about the Cincinnati Bengals? Are you fans of the Bengals?
I really don't watch football now.
You never watch football?
I like the Bengals.
Who's your favorite player?
Everybody.
Everybody?
I like them all just because they're hometown, you know.
If you
get them all face.
If you could meet any player on the team, who would it be?
He's not here.
What?
I've heard of you.
Yes.
I definitely have.
There we go.
He's definitely a football player. I've heard of you.
Sweet.
Well, you have a good day.
Okay,
He's the best guy on the team.
Okay, he's the best guy on the team.
The best guy on the team. He's the guy you want to know.
Okay.
We play Sunday.
Sunday,
At
I'll watch
home.
you, Giovani.
All right, sweet.
2-5, number 25.
25. Okay.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Today's like my cheat day, I guess. It's our off day, so we can kind of eat whatever. But during the week, I don't know. Kind of have to be smart about it.
So now that you have a cheat day, like as a 25-year-old young man, when you have a cheat day, this is when you bounce back a lot easier, right? This is like when my dad would say to me, "Eat Sunday now while you can, because someday your metabolism when you get old." But
slows out. Yes.
Okay. So will you really feel it then tomorrow, or not so much? It doesn't really affect your workout routine to have a day where
No.
you have a little bit of grease.
Nah, I'll be fine. Sorry. Nope.
And there go the fries.
Not the fries. Not the fries. Not the fries.
Right? No, I would be like, not the G-Wagon.
Not the fries. Everybody that knows Chick-fil-A knows how good these fries are. These waffle fries are amazing.
All right.
I
think that, if I remember correctly, I think Joe Thomas let me try a waffle fry. Sorry, I didn't even ask. I just took one. It's your fry.
That's cool. We're cool now. 20 minutes.
You're the
20-minute marker.
I can share your fry. They are good. Do you want to know a secret?
Salted.
They are perfectly salted. You want to know a secret about ordering fries? Because when you go through a fast food restaurant, which I have to say I'm not really a fast food eater. Every now and then, though. And every now and then.
If you were to choose a fast food spot, what would it be?
Oh, well, maybe it'll be Chick-fil-A now. If I were going...
Does Chipotle count as fast food?
It does. So maybe Chipotle. If I were going to order fries, though, and that would be like a late at night thing that would happen, I'd probably go to Wendy's. Because I like Wendy's.
No. I was just about to say, are you a McDonald's or a Wendy's person?
Wendy's.
Or a Burger King. I guess we could throw
Not Burger. Who goes to Burger King anymore? Sorry. I mean, a lot of people do because there are Burger Kings everywhere. But
yeah. McDonald's, for sure, for me.
Although, Burger King, when I was in high school, they had a good chocolate shake. But anyway,
did you dip
I digress.
The fries in that one? Oh, yeah, that's Wendy's.
Right? No, that's a Frosty, which is also amazing. I'm saying this like I'm a fast food expert. I really don't. This is the first bite of fast food I've had in probably 6 months.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You did that for this? That is awesome.
You know what? Because I'm a baller.
There you go.
I'm like a baller, so I'm going to be a baller.
There we go.
It was really hard to eat a fry.
It took you like 8 bites to eat the fry that was that big.
Well, I mean, listen. It's not that I can't throw down a meal at home. I love to cook. Do you like to cook?
I do like to cook. Or would you say you're more of a baker or a griller?
Well, when I think of baking, I think of that as meaning making cookies and pies.
Okay,
which
so
I'm
it's not like lasagna or
you think I make amazing lasagna.
Really?
Amazing lasagna. The best eggplant parmesan you'll ever have. I excel.
Are you Italian?
Yes.
Okay.
Meatball sauce. Like, I do all of that really well.
I gotta have some. Yeah. All right. So after the 40-minute marker, does that mean like we're cool enough that you can like cook?
Totally. I'm gonna tell you why.
Sweet.
There's nothing that makes. Actually, I'll take this back. My nieces and nephews make me happier when they're like, "I love you, Aunt Andrea. You look like Katy Perry." They tell me I look like Katy Perry, and I like Katy Perry with brown hair,
there you go.
Not a short blonde hair.
Not the crazy, yeah.
But what also makes me so happy is to make other people happy by feeding them food.
It is
so if you were to, now 40 minutes into our friendship, if you were to have my lasagna or my eggplant parmesan or meatballs, and you were tasting them going, this is so good, like talking with your mouth full because it was so good, that would make me so happy. That it would take us from a 40-minute friendship to easily a 40-year friendship.
There we go. This is such a bad parking. I have to redo it.
I don't think that was terrible.
Bad. It was bad. If you didn't think that was bad, then I may contemplate how good you are at parking.
Well, you seem to stay within the lines.
I was way outside of the lines. All right, there we go. Now we're good.
Listen, just don't be outside of the lines on Sunday, okay?
Yeah, no. Stay in the lines.
Stay in the lines.
There we go.
Unless it becomes a timing or a clock issue.
Yeah, then we got to get out of bounds, and you got to, either waste the clock or,
I don't know how you keep all the rules.
Oh, there's a lot of rules.
Confused.
There's a lot of rules to it. But
do you even know them all? Let's be honest.
Not all of them, but you're familiar with the ones that actually apply to you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm not going to go rip somebody's helmet off because that's a penalty.
It's a penalty. That's a face mask.
Yeah.
Which that's actually one of my... You did?
Yeah, actually, first game of the season against Baltimore, I had a face mask. I grabbed the guy's kind of face mask. Got fined $9,000 for that. But they reduced it to $6,000.
What did you have to do? Go to, like, NFL court to get it reduced?
Yeah, on the phone, yeah.
So, okay. Let's talk about this, though, for a second. Like, you're a nice guy.
Oh, they don't care.
But you face mask a guy.
Yep.
Are you doing it on purpose, or is it accidental?
So... for me, it was accidental. My hand just got stuck in there, and I kind of just, like, the way he was falling, I kind of just pushed him down, and his helmet came off. And then, same thing happened the next play, and it was a completely normal stiff arm. And then I didn't even think I was going to get fined for it. But they threw a penalty flag on it, and I was like, okay, whatever, no big deal. In my locker, and I got a text message from my agent saying, oh, you got fined for, that face mask. Like,
wait, in your locker, what do you get, like a red slip or something?
No, it's like a FedEx, it's like, hey, have been fined X amount of dollars for such and such, this thing.
Does that happen every time there's a face mask?
No, it depends how blatant it is, or it depends how bad it is. Like, I mean, if you grab somebody's face mask, you rip it off, then, you'll try to reduce it, but they won't, you'll try to appeal it, and nothing will happen.
Have you ever been fined for celebrating in the end zone?
No, I'm too spooked. Side note, when I do celebrate, I point up to the sky because I always point up to my mother. That's my thing. But as far as celebrating, this is kind of I've always done that. But some guys have gotten they're a lot more lenient on the celebrations.
I think they should be, because I personally, as a fan, enjoy seeing a celebration.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just different, It's not the same old, and just let guys have fun. I think once you start, making like a little barrier between every single thing, and then guys start, forgetting how fun football is. I mean,
you're supposed to dance. That means you're happy. I want to see somebody get a little jiggy with it.
Yeah. But I do understand, they don't want anything to be like, no, sexual acts or this or that. That makes sense. But,
for sure. Yeah. But I mean, if somebody wants to do the lawnmower, or that's not the lawnmower. What is sprinkler? That's a sprinkler.
Yeah, there you go. Not the lawnmower's like this.
That's the lawnmower. I'm like, I clearly have never mowed the lawn. Confession.
We'll wait on that one.
Gio, you rock. You're like one of my favorite people. That was
fun. That was really fun.